Welcome to Banter Such. I'm Brando.
And I'm Owen.
And today we are talking about family.
Family.
The Fast and the Furious!
And today we have a very special guest on, the master of Peronis himself, Nick Perrin.
Hey, guys.
That's not even at all.
No, he said his principal used to call him Peroni.
You know,
I don't know.
In my experience, references to something that was talked about off mic is like great podcast content.
Yeah. Oh, our guests love hearing that, for
It's
sure.
like-
You like that
It-
inside joke that only the three of us heard?
Yeah, on the top of the list, it is physical gestures. And then second, it is off mic conversations.
Hey, look at this face I'm making right now, you dumbass. All right, let's get into some BS.
All right, so before we get into the most family genre of movies ever, we got to get into a couple things that we wanted to give you guys a heads up on.
Yeah, first of all, you got to check out the amazing merch at theheliosnetwork.com. We have Wasted Truth shirts, we have Banter and Such stickers, we have Owen and Brando pins, which, by the way, I did mention that I have on my pin, I'm wearing my favorite green jacket, my pin self is, and then I took that pin and put it on my green jacket. So
That is so self-serving.
I have a pin of
I
me
love
wearing
it.
my green jacket on my green jacket. So, but you got to check that out at theheliosnetwork.com.
Also, if you'd like to support the show, you can check out our Patreon. Links are in the show description. It allows us to be able to get Banter and Such and the Helios Network out there. And of course, if you cannot support us monetarily, wherever you are listening to Banter and Such, please rate us 5 stars. Click that bell, slam that gong, and hit
Smash that like
dog.
button.
Yeah, smash that like button.
Yeah,
like
whatever.
every Minecraft YouTuber.
Whatever they're saying
Yeah.
now. Okay, now we're getting into the topic of Fast and the Furious. What is the official name of this?
I feel,
Well,
I
it
feel
depends
like our
on which-
guest might be able to
Yeah,
do that.
it depends on which movie you're talking about, honestly. There's
Yes.
The Fast and the Furious, there's Fast and Furious. Honestly, they go through every iteration, and it's perfect. It's the perfect naming scheme.
So Nick, show us your receipts. Why are you on this episode of Banter and Such, and let people know exactly who you are and why we love you.
Yeah, my name's Nick Perrin. I host a D&D podcast called Tabletopped. It's not an actual play. It's an interview podcast where we bring on guests, people who love D&D, and we talk about specific parts of the medium. So how to tell great stories, how to run fun games, and a lot of different stuff like that. You guys were on it. Your episode is going to be coming out at the end of the month. I'm very excited for people to hear that. We got up to some mischief there. And I am uniquely qualified to talk about Fast and the Furious because I am 100% sure that it was in some way a D&D campaign.
Well, we got to give credit where credit's due also, because when we had our correspondence about planning this, you were the one who suggested, you were like, hey, November is the month of Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And Thanksgiving's all about family, so we've got to do Fast. I was like, you
This
son
is
of
such
a bitch.
good idea. Because we do like the Spooktober special
Yeah.
for like Halloween for October, right? then we
November's
do
all about family.
and then we do what is it? The
Jingle
Jingle-sember
Sember
Spectacular
Spectacular.
for Christmas.
Well,
so now we need to come up with something for Thanksgiving.
Yes.
If I'm going to be 100% honest, though, if it was like, around Labor Day, I'd be like, celebrating Labor Day. Look, think of all the labor that went into those vehicles. We just got to celebrate it.
So however you could work it into this particular
Yeah.
franchise.
So my question for you then is, no matter what, was it always going to be Fast and the Furious? Like there was nothing else? Like you were going to find a way to work this in? It could be like March 3rd and you're like, you know what is the most March 3rd movie franchise ever? It's Fast and Furious.
the new Avengers movie just came out, but let's
Truly,
talk about Fast and Furious.
the train line begins and ends at Fast and the Furious for me. It is truly a great work of art. We'll get to it, but they drive a car to space. A man duct tapes his spacesuit because there's a hole in it, and that's fine. This is the greatest movie /film series of all time.
Yes.
I just watched that. He's referencing the last one. That was Fast 9,
Yeah,
right?
Fast 9.
I just watched that one for the first time like 2 days ago.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? The movies have become so self-aware that they're making fun of themselves now.
Can I
There's
say
that whole sequence.
Go
for
I think
it.
we're about
He's taking his glasses off.
I'm so excited. So this is the greatest part of Fast 9, and I'm so excited to talk about it because I talk about this with everybody. And I think we were about to say the same thing. There is literally a moment where a character is shot like 100 times. And then he is just like patting himself like, how am I okay? And then in the next scene afterwards, he's holding his coat with just riddled with bullet holes. And he goes, hey guys, you know how like we used to be, car thieves and now we're like international super spies or whatever? And everyone's like, yeah. And he's like, yeah, so there's a lot of times we should have got hurt, right? And they're like, yeah. And he's like, but we never end up dying. Do you think that we're like, like that we can't get hurt or something? And they're all like, you're such an idiot. Oh, what the fuck? This is a character that is becoming self-aware within his own movie franchise. Yes. It is the greatest thing ever.
And also in that movie, there's a scene with Charlize Theron where she's like, if we were in a movie, this would be this part. I'm like, you're just describing this part right now.
Yes, that is this part.
Yeah, Charlize Theron
This movie has become so meta.
But you know what, man? Like, as ridiculous as this movie series is, I am on board for it, man. Like, it's like, this is a movie series where they're like, we're going to be ridiculous, we're going to be absurd, and it's going to be fun, man. We're going to have a great time doing it. And I'm like, let's do it, baby.
I love it because, like, go ahead.
No, it's just literally like,
go ahead. Yeah.
So I got into Fast and the Furious during the pandemic when my partner and I were like, we need serotonin injected into our veins.
Yes.
And this series of movies is like, it starts out and they are just car racing, car thieves, and they're like trying to steal VCRs out of the back of a truck. Like that is literally
DVD players. It was DVD players.
DVD players.
No, there were VCRs in there also.
Oh, really?
And like 17-inch box TVs.
Yeah.
Man.
Oh my god.
This
like,
is
and the
basically
camera's
gold
panning
in
across
the
them.
1990s.
Yes. Yes. It's like, ooh, look at the luxury the score that they just got.
It's DVRs and DVDs.
It's like you got a remote.
That's so 2001. Oh my god. Oh, we're selling TiVos. We're selling TiVos on the black market, people.
Look at
I'm
these
not 100%
universal
sure.
remotes we got.
I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure that some of the TVs in the back of the car are combination TV VCR TVs too. It's like this is
oh my god.
And this is why I'm saying it's a D&D campaign, because that's like your level 1. This is when you're coming out, you're like a farmer, you're starting to become an adventurer. And then Fast 9, we're driving cars to space. Vin Diesel pulls a building down on top of himself, falls into water, drowns, and then gets out of it totally fine, unhurt. This is your level 20 campaign.
And no joke about the D&D thing, man. Is so Vin Diesel is actually a huge D&D fan. Like, he's a big nerd, and which is awesome. Big shout out to all of us. We all play and tabletop. And but like there we go. And but like it probably was, and it's like you said, like you can see these different characters just like and how it gets off the rails. Like it's like a D&D campaign.
100%.
It really does get off the rails, and the movie franchise does. But like what you were saying is when you go back to the first one, and you look at how quaint it is, those humble beginnings when I mean, and people forget. Like, this franchise is like 20 years old. This
is 21 years old.
Yeah.
2001 was when the first one came out.
Yeah.
And when we were joking about the VCRs and stuff, but they really were. But it's not just that, but it's the fact that they are just street racing. Yeah. And the big action set piece for the first one is when a dude comes out of the sunroof of his street racing car and he's got a harpoon gun. Yep. And he shoots it into the big rig and he just jumps across and climbs in the window. That's the big action piece right there,
Yeah, absolutely.
And everyone was like, "Whoa, that is so cool, man!"
And now they're like destroying tanks. There's
they race the
submarines. Yes, there was an airstrip that was 50 miles long. That the plane never took off.
Yeah,
that action sequence was like 15 minutes long, and they never ran out of runway.
Someone did the math for that. That was fantastic. 6, I think, or 7.
6.
Where they're in the back of this cargo airplane and they're just fighting while it's trying to take off. And someone did the math of like, they're like the longest, I think one of the longest in the world airports is like O'Hare in Chicago. It's like 2 miles long, like a huge runway. But this one in Fantastic Four, like,
yes, bring it back to
they
Marvel.
need to do a crossover. What I mean? But this one in Fast and Furious was like 28 miles long. Like
I'm
it just
not
keeps
surprised.
going.
Yeah.
Okay. So we do. I feel like we do need to like walk through the franchise because I wanted to
the Fantastic Fast and Furious.
Yes. Yeah. And I wanted to just read off the names of the movies.
Please.
Yes.
I love this.
Because that alone is okay, so here we go. So there's 10 of them, right? The Fast and the Furious. Too Fast, Too Furious.
Love that.
Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift.
Yes. Absolutely.
Fast and Furious.
Oh, that's right, because then the 4th movie was just Fast and Furious.
Fast and
they
Furious.
lost the thes.
The thes, yeah.
They went
Fast
sleep.
5. Yeah. Fast and Furious 6. They weren't even trying to be creative there. Furious 7.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Then here we go. The Fate of the Furious, which I didn't get that pun until recently, how it's 8 and Fate, F8.
Yeah, of course.
Fate.
It's the first one they went eternal with it.
Fucking mind blown.
And I believe this latest one was called F9.
Yeah.
Like just
F9.
Just F9. And the next one is Fast X, which I think is Fast 10,
Yeah,
Which
that's where
is
Vin Diesel
Roman
and
numeral.
Triple X meet together, right?
Yeah, and it's the biggest
I don't know.
waste of an opportunity. They should have named it Fast 10 Your Seatbelts. Come on, guys. This is an easy marketing layup. What are you doing? Nobody takes you seriously anyways. Do the stupid pun again.
I don't wear no seatbelts.
Yeah. Family is my seatbelt.
All I need is family to pretend.
I live
do
my
have
life
this,
a
which
half a mile at a time.
Oh, yes.
This is my favorite. One of my favorite things. It's a sound bit.
Friends. I got family.
Family. For Nick,
All of them.
it's just Vin
All
Diesel
of them.
saying family
Yeah.
like 18 million times
Sure.
in a couple of seconds.
You
Well,
mean
that's
just
the
the
thing
script
about
of
these-
all of the movies?
Yes. I literally, someone like clipped it all together, and in Fast 6, there's a scene that's like 2 minutes long, and they say family 6 times.
Yeah.
I watched each trailer before watching them, and like he mentions family in every single trailer.
I don't got friends.
like it's a central part.
I got family.
yeah.
Family
and that's the
thicker
thing
than
is like
blood. Which does not make any sense.
and this movie franchise has definitely evolved. Like when you go back and look at it, the first 3 movies, and really the number 2 and number 3 are their own thing. Like it's almost like they don't even belong in the series. But the first 3 movies are just car racing movies.
Yes.
And if you go back and look at the first one, like they're just car race, street racing and stuff. But then you get to the second one, Dom's not in it. There's no Vin Diesel in the second one.
Yep.
And then in the third one, like none of them are in it. And Vin Diesel, he makes his cameo at the end.
Which,
But-
Wait,
like-
Vin Diesel isn't in Too Fast? Oh, that's right.
No,
He's not.
because that's when they brought in the other guy. Was it Tyrese?
Tyrese, yeah.
They brought
Yes,
him into-
Tyrese. It's,
Tyrese, yeah.
Just Paul Walker and
Roman.
Tyrese. My favorite part of that movie where I was like, is this going to be good without Vin? This is sort of a Vin vehicle. It was when they started wrestling in the sand on the ground that I was like, it's still good, baby.
Yeah, and you could see that like his part was like Tyrese's part was he was being Vin Diesel's part.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like it was just this was written for Vin Diesel, but we got like
Did you do that? Did he do that thing where he doesn't look while he drives? He learned that from me, you know.
And you could tell like they hadn't figured out the formula. They're like, oh, is this just a street racing movie series and that's what's going to sell? And it's like, no, because even with Tokyo Drift, people talk about Tokyo Drift, but it was the lowest grossing of the whole franchise.
Yeah,
is
I don't.
Tokyo
I
Drift.
actually don't even like Tokyo Drift.
I don't
Listen,
either.
how
think
can
it's
you
any
not
of the
like
one.
Tokyo Drift when you get to sit through an hour and a half of the worst Southern accent in the entire world?
Yes!
It is
dude,
literally
when-
like
yes!
usually when like an actor does a Southern accent, it's like, oh, that's sexy. It's like it's refined. This is like Hicktown Southern accent,
Town.
terrible, unattractive.
Kentucky Fried Southern accent.
Yeah, on top of the fact that it's a 25-year-old actor who looks 35 who's playing a 17-year-old high
Yeah.
schooler.
Yes, perfect.
I'm
No
like,
notes,
and he's,
no
he's
notes.
old with a terrible accent. I'm like, what is this movie? When they show him, this like fully grown huge man in like a little Japanese schoolboy outfit,
Yeah.
and he's going to school, and I'm like, what the fuck is this movie?
None of it makes sense. In particularly the storyline. Nick, I know normally you ask us trivia towards the end, but I'm going to ask you a trivia question right now. Can you give me the timeline of all 11?
Absolutely.
10 movies?
Absolutely.
Not like years they came out, but like in order of their chronological timeline.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. All right.
There's-
What is the timeline?
There's 1, Fast and the Furious. There's 2, we skip Tokyo Drift. That is actually the 6th movie in the franchise, or 7th. I have to think.
All
about
right,
it.
he knows his shit.
Yeah, and you go.
It's a
I mean, how
7th.
can you
It's
not?
technically a
after
7.
9, they actually go back to the guys and are like, "Hey, you're part of the series again," and they're like, 45 years old, and they are not action movie stars.
So yeah, it's 1 and 2, and then it is 4, 5, 6,
And then 7,
Tokyo
yeah.
Drift,
Which is 3.
7, 8, 9.
Yeah.
And how many times has a character been killed but then returned like 2 to 3
This
movies?
is this is the
hold on,
formula.
hold on,
Brandon,
hold on.
Yeah,
because-
Brandon, you were talking about the formula, and the formula is bad guy gets introduced. Next movie, they're good guy. One person dies.
Yes!
One person dies in every movie. They're not dead. They come back in 2 movies. Only person who
Yes, and they
who
skip
is
a
gone
movie.
is Paul Walker, who is dead in real life and cannot come back, but he's alive in the movies.
Yeah,
And I think he's coming back also, like in Fast 10.
well,
I'm
you,
so
you are
excited.
wrong. There is one person that has died.
I
in
don't
the
think
movies
so. I
that
don't
has
think
not
so.
come
I think
back.
this is a big reveal coming
Gal
up.
Gadot.
I mean, I'm not gonna. This is
You
just,
you think Gal Gadot? Oh, fast 10 your seatbelts.
yeah, fasten your
The return
seatbelts.
of Gal Gadot.
Everyone's coming back.
Well, and the thing too about them being out of order is like when they decided, like as the franchise is morphing into this new thing, it goes from being a street racer thing to like a Mission Impossible film series. And then when they're like, hey, we want to go back to Tokyo Drift, and then we're going to say that. But here's the thing: is what that does is it makes Tokyo Drift take place in like 2018 or something.
Yes.
Or like 2030. It's like
Yeah,
years
but it's
later.
so 2003.
Yes, but if you watch that movie, they got like flip phones.
Yeah.
Like, and there's scenes, like whole scenes where the camera is making sure that you see that all the crowd has flip phones and they're recording it
On
in
their
like,
razors.
on their Motorola razors and like 180p,
Brandon,
you know,
why are
like
you-
180p.
Brandon, it sounds like you have a problem with this movie franchise.
no, I love it. It's just so absurd. You have to embrace the absurdity of it.
Yeah.
You have to embrace it.
I mean, the moment that Vin Diesel crashed himself, let me restart. He sees Michelle Rodriguez is about to die
Yes.
for the 8th time.
Yes.
He gets on top of his car, somehow is still driving it,
Yes.
purposely crashes it,
Yes.
and times it perfectly where he flies through the air to catch Michelle Rodriguez and then lands on top of another car and is totally fine.
Yeah, no notes.
And that,
no
that
notes.
beautiful white t-shirt.
No notes?
No notes.
No notes? That's fine?
It's perfect. I mean,
Okay, cool.
The only thing that it is matched by is when Deckard Shaw, played by Jathan Statham, has a baby in one hand and is killing probably like 30 people on a plane and then jumps out of the plane with the baby. Again, this is the perfect movie franchise. No notes.
There's just so much to unpack here.
What about the time where they're on the 80th floor in Dubai
And they
drive the car off the
jump
80th
up,
floor?
Out of the window, through the air,
Yeah.
into a neighboring skyscraper.
Not
Oh
once.
my
Yeah,
God.
because
Not
that's
once.
how gravity and physics work.
Twice. They do it
Twice,
They're
yeah,
like,
twice.
I can't slow down in this crash building that I just crashed through the windows of. I gotta do it one more time.
Yeah, and let me reiterate: in the first movie, they had a grappling gun, and they were standing outside the sunroof of the car. That was the big action piece.
No, so this is the other thing is that like you can see the egos on these actors just getting cranked every single movie. Like
Oh, yeah.
in the same one where they jump the buildings, Vin Diesel's like, they're in the vault and they're trying to get this like specific chip out of a car because it has data on it or whatever. And Paul Walker has to like go under the car and get it out. And he's like, to Vin Diesel. And Vin like rolls his eyes and then just picks up the car with his bare hands.
It was like a Bugatti or something, which is like one of the more heavy ones because of how big the fucking engine is.
Yeah.
Well, if you go back, and I keep wanting to go back to the first one just because the juxtaposition is so funny. If you go back to that first one, look at how tiny they all are too. Like they're so skinny.
They're normal
like,
people.
Like Vin Diesel. Yeah, he's like a normal guy. But if you look at like Fast 5, Fast 6, by that time, dude is like mega huge, man. Like, and that's when he's like super strong. Like he's visibly larger.
I mean, and that's one of the things that's kind of funny that they do. They always want to go larger. So when Vin Diesel had issues with The Rock, they had to get someone bigger and better than him. So they had to go to who else? John Cena.
Oh yeah. Well, didn't you say something about how Dwayne Johnson had it?
Stop.
Yeah. I don't know.
Stop.
Wait, like just speaking of like all the actors and stuff, there were hijinks like in the background of all of these.
I say that we can't say that on
air. But I get it when he eventually does go to John Cena.
Shaw.
And John Cena, what's funny is because for me, like I actually became a big John Cena fan from the Suicide Squad, and the Peacemaker show. Like I never really knew him before that, but then like seeing him in the movie, I'm like, oh my gosh, this dude is huge and hilarious and amazing, man.
And they make it where it's Vin Diesel's brother.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah.
Which is
this
okay.
is
Let's.
Yeah, this is the thing is that Vin Diesel's ego is so out of control that he's like, yeah, that guy that's like a foot taller than me, like chiseled, square jaw, full head of hair, like 100 pounds bigger. That's like my identical twin. And like, did you guys hear about how in all of their contracts now they have it so that all of the main stars can't lose a fight? Did you guys know this? Where it is literally written in, so whenever they have fights on screen, they like punch each other for like an hour, and then they just have to stop and talk it out because literally contractually they cannot lose.
It's a draw. Well, it goes back to what you said is that, if he's going to be a villain in this movie, in the next movie,
for sure.
like he's going to be a part of the team, and now he's a part of the family, and they keep incorporating everyone. And I realized it wasn't just Jason Statham, but it was like Gal Gadot was one who was like, she started out as a villain. I forgot that like, she wasn't a part of the team.
Oh, that's right.
Like they keep even like Vin Diesel himself was like
the bad guy in the first one.
The bad guy. Yeah, it's just so funny that
because they redid Point Break. So Fast and Furious, the first one, is just Point Break but with cars instead of surfboards.
They even said it in the same place. Like Point Break shares a lot of the, like if you look at the shots, the backgrounds are very similar because they just like stole Point Break locations and would shoot the same place.
Oh my, it's so bad. But like even wait, sorry, hold on. I'm losing my track here.
It's so much to unpack. There's just so much there.
So much overstimulation. Yes.
Vin, are you in the studio with us?
Yeah. It's family.
So much overfamulation.
To get back on this though, which doesn't make sense. So, is Vin Diesel Hispanic?
I don't know
because they make him Hispanic in Fast 9.
I think that
is he?
So in the Wikipedia, because I had the same question, I was sort of deep diving it. Vin Diesel is considers himself a person of color because his dad, who he didn't grow up with, what is said to have been a person of color, I think, and I think his Hispanic man. So I'm not 100% sure, but I think yes, that is the claim of.
So they made him that. He has his sister Mia too, right? Who's Hispanic, and then you see the dad in Fast 9, who's obviously Hispanic,
and John Cena,
and then
who's obviously Hispanic.
So obviously Hispanic, and to the point that even when you introduce Charlize Theron and him, she goes, "Oh, I didn't know the Toretto line had any Viking or Nordic in them with that perfectly chiseled jaw." I was like, dude,
they had to.
You got it.
All right.
But this is the great thing about it is that the writers at this point are like, none of this makes any fucking sense. We have to try. We have to try to write in enough explanations that people will go with us. And that they just don't understand that we don't care. We just want the stupid things to continue.
Because that's the thing. It's like at the end of the day, they'll go and do a stunt. They'll do a scene, a set with a stunt, and it will be amazing, and it will be so incredible. And then the action, they'll do this action set piece that is amazing. And it's like, you know what? That was fun, man. And that's why I came here. Is John Cena Brothers with Vin Diesel? Sure, man.
Yep.
Sure, go for it. Is
believe
Charlize
it.
Theron your mom? Whatever, dude. I don't even care anymore. But that set piece that you just did was so fun.
Yeah.
You know, and at the end of the day, you're like, man, I had a good time, you know?
I mean, it's so cool too to have scenes like in Fast 9 where it's finally Vin Diesel and John Cena are fighting in like a Scottish suit shop.
Oh, yeah.
And both of them are punching through solid cement to hit one another.
It's amazing. They literally just punch barehanded through blocks of cement, and then they like hit each other. Totally fine. These people are not human anymore. They are slabs
they're
of
level
iron
20
that are puppeted
D&D
around.
So what I think happened, because I'm always perpetually fascinated with the behind the scenes stuff with a lot of these movie production stuff. And so at the time in the early 2000s, you know, Vin Diesel was kind of the rising star. You know, he'd gotten big with Fast and the Furious, but people forget he also had another movie franchise. He had a couple of them, but one of them was Triple X.
Yeah.
Yes.
And if you go back and watch this Triple X, it is definitely a Mission Impossible type movie.
Yeah.
But it's like Mission Impossible with Vin Diesel, and he's from the street. But if you look at it, like Triple X disappeared at about the same time that Fast and the Furious became Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
And I think like Vin Diesel just had all of this super spy energy in him, and he just came to the like producers and was like, let's do it like this.
Triple X is always going to be better than Mission Impossible because Mission Impossible has yet to do a snowboarding scene on gravel on roadways where he somehow grinds up against the side of a bus while on a snowboard while on blacktop.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Show me that scene. Show me that scene in Mission Impossible. But it hasn't happened.
I think that's what it was, though. I think like they just Triple X didn't work out, and they were like, well, let's just do Fast and Furious that way, and everyone was like, okay, cool.
You bring up a good point that I feel like Fast and the Furious at one point was just competing with Mission Impossible. It was like, okay, Tom Cruise, you grab onto a plane and it takes off. Okay, I'm going to drive a car out of a plane. Yeah, it's just like
they are different, though.
Yeah, I mean, the only issue is that with Mission Impossible, majority of the things you see are real, whereas in
Fast and the Furious, they are also 100% real, yes.
Yes. 100% real. Yeah, they definitely had a 28-mile long airstrip.
Well, that is the difference is when you're watching Mission Impossible, you know that there's the Tom Cruise doing the real stunt stuff, but also like there's kind of a weight to the action pieces. Like there's like somebody gets hurt, you know, like Tom Cruise will get hurt, you know. And there's a little bit more of a realism, kind of a weight there to it. Whereas, and that's cool. That's what Mission Impossible does well. And then you go to Fast and the Furious, and you're like, nope, it's all just they're all Captain America.
Yes.
And why? Because
it's
because
cool.
I fucking said so.
Why are you asking questions?
Family.
Sit down and shut the fuck
Vin
up.
Diesel said so.
Because of family.
Listen, we're gonna
Family is the super soldier serum.
we're gonna fuck some shit up, and then we're gonna have a barbecue in my shitty Los Angeles house because we're family.
Yeah.
Yes.
What's this going to cost me, Toretto? $13.27.
Huh?
Oh,
it literally
my
is
gosh.
wild to me that these people are rich as hell at this point. Like every time that we do a movie, they gain like $100 million because of some crazy shit that they do. And they're still living in like shithole apartments all across. Like they have that LA place in like the middle of like, you know, one of the burbs of
the house
LA.
that got blown up that he rebuilt exactly the same.
Yeah.
And he can
like,
rebuild a car. He can rebuild a house.
and he gets exiled out of the United States. He's like, I'd do anything to go back. It's like you are living in a tropical paradise right now. What are you talking about?
You want to go back to Los fucking Angeles?
Yeah.
Why?
No, as someone that's from Los Angeles, I can tell you, no, not happening.
And he's
Well,
like,
what's funny,
yeah,
too,
last
is,
time
like-
I was there, someone shot a rocket launcher at my house, but I'm going to give up this beautiful paradise to go back.
Well, and so we're speaking of like people getting rich off of it. Not just the characters in the movie are rich, but so these actors are in this franchise. And so, like, I mean, we're joking about it. We're laughing at how absurd this is, you know? But at the end of the day, the Fast and the Furious, this is as of today, it is the 8th highest grossing movie franchise of all time, my dude. Number 8 of all time.
Wow.
And that's if you separate out Avengers out of the MCU.
Yeah.
If you consider if you do Avengers its own, that drops this down to 8.
Okay.
Or it would be 7. $6.6 billion, man. Like,
Jeez. That's including the Hobbs and Shaw movie?
I believe so.
Okay.
I think that includes.
Or is that
also.
its own franchise?
No, that's part of the cinematic universe.
Can I also really quickly say, I want to continue on this train because I think that's interesting and like, yeah, they're all fucking rich now, rich as hell. Like, it's crazy. You might make fun of them for being in this movie. They have made more than enough money to like buy a palace somewhere because of it. It's wild how successful it is. But The Rock, I think that the only misstep Vin ever had in producing the series is that he let somebody more charismatic and bigger than him come into the series.
Yeah.
Like when The Rock is in the hospital with that cast, and then he comes out, grabs a minigun, and then flexes the cast, and it just explodes
pops
off
off,
of his
yeah.
bicep. It's like, hell yes, I want 5 more of these movies.
That's the thing. It's like, dude, like, I love Vin Diesel and I love Paul Walker. I love all the characters, you know. And then you have Michelle Rodriguez, who is just playing the one face that she does, you know. But like, and you said it exactly. Then they bring in Dwayne Johnson. That dude is super charismatic.
Yeah.
Not only is he like, I'm gonna admit it, I love looking at that dude because he is so huge,
Yes,
and I
he
love
is.
just seeing him. But he's so charismatic, and it's like, this is a problem here. Like, he is now the star of your movie series.
You know, and honestly, the Hobbs and Shaw might be one of my favorite of the Fast and the Furious.
It's really good.
It is fun.
The dynamic between DJ and Jason Statham is amazing.
Perfection.
Yes.
And I will also
That
say,
scene when they're in the prison and they're looking at one another, and he's like, "I'm gonna beat your ass like a Cherokee drum." I was like, "This is comedy fucking gold right
yeah.
now."
Well-
You have Jason Statham is jacked. He's jacked,
Yeah.
right? Like he's a big dude, like
But he's
muscular.
also like a martial arts
Yeah,
guy. Yeah.
but he's not anything compared to like 6'8", 450 pounds of pure testosterone, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
well, they've perfected it because Jason Statham is like, you know, doing, like you said, Brandon, the martial arts, like flipping around people, doing crazy kicks, all that. And then they cut to The Rock, grab a guy's face, and just hit him into a wall so hard that he essentially explodes.
And it's great. And like at the end of Hobbs and Shaw, when he's like, he's at home, he's back in the island, and like he gets all of his like island friends and family and they get in their. It goes back to its roots of like Fast and the Furious, where they get in their cars.
Yeah.
but it's like these like rusty trucks and
With
like
harpoon guns.
with harpoon guns and stuff on them, and it's so cool. And they do that big action set with those helicopters
Yeah.
and stuff.
Oh my
Where they
And
go
it's like, dude,
helicopter
this is-
fishing, and he literally pulls the helicopter down. Yes, I remember that sequence. Are you kidding me?
So what would take more strength, Vin Diesel pulling down those cement blocks on him in Fast 9, or Dwayne Johnson pulling down a fully functional helicopter?
Yeah. I'm gonna go with The Rock.
I'm going to go with The Rock on this one too. Nick, what would you say?
Honestly, who can say how well built that prison complex that Vin Diesel was in?
It wasn't great because it was already crumbling.
Yeah, and so like
that's
maybe
part of the fun,
it has
man.
to be The Rock because it was, you know, old and a little shoddy, but Vin Diesel really gave it all he had, you know.
So we're knocking this franchise quite a lot, but there is something I'm not trying to be like
Well, I'm not
facetious
making
here.
fun of it. I'm just.
I'm
just-
100%.
I'm
making fun of it.
100%
not
making fun of it
laughing
too,
at it, I'm
but
laughing
because
with
I
it.
love it so dearly,
Love it.
it makes me laugh.
Yes, Nick, you and I are the same.
I literally, so the pandemic was ending. The first movie I went to see in a theater was Fast 9. And me and all of my friends watched this stupid shit happen on the screen. And we were laughing and screaming and pointing at the screen. It was one of the best times of my life. It's so good.
Yes.
When he
Yes.
rolls a like 80-ton SUV Humvee truck into a flying jet
Yes.
at the end of the movie, I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Oh yeah.
But this is one of the things I do absolutely love about the Fast franchise. The Fast and the Furious franchise, the Furious franchise. Fast and Furious franchise?
I think it's actually called the Fast and Furious Saga.
Saga. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. The saga of this movies
Yeah.
is that in every single movie there is at least 1 or 2 scenes where the action is real.
Yeah.
I can't remember which movie it was, but the one where they tow a bank vault behind them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's 5, Fast 5.
Is that 5?
Yeah. Yeah, it's 5. Do you know how they
who
did
knows?
that? It's fucking crazy.
So that's my thing. That's what I'm going to go into. They did this for real, essentially, and which is the crazy precision of the drivers on this, but also for some of the scenes, they built a fake bank vault over a truck.
A car, yeah. And they
What?
fucking
Yes.
drove it around. The amount of people that must, like, if you think about it truly, and you strip away you just like dive in, you're like, this is 100% a real world that they are inhabiting. It is the most terrifying world imaginable. There is at any moment a car with just roided up dudes can come screaming down your like, dead end driveway with a bank vault behind it, smashing through everything in its path. And like, it happens all the time. And the government is literally seeking these people out and being like, I need you to solve the world's biggest issues.
Yeah.
There's a device that can plug into everything that goes into the internet, and John Cena is trying to capture it. The only person possible happens to be his brother.
Yeah.
But I'm going to need my family if I'm going to do it.
God,
Yeah.
it's just... And
Your code of ethics is your family.
the thing about it, too, that's
Well,
so
and then-
good is, like, it is... Like I said, they take it so seriously in the movie that you can't help
Yes.
but just be like, this is so joyful, right? Because everyone in there is playing it 100% straight. They're like, this is absolutely
yeah.
the biggest issue of our time. A chip that can look out of every phone camera in the world. And it's just like this
Yes.
such stupid stuff, but they play it so well. The acting, it's stupid. And like the dialogue is stupid, but it works perfectly with how they do it. Like it's just, camp except perfect. It's like a testosterone fueled camp movie. It's amazing.
That's the thing. I mean, the worst thing a movie series like this could be is boring.
Yes.
Like if it were bad, if it were cheesy, if it had plot holes, those aren't nearly as bad of flaws.
And
as
I
if it
would,
were
yeah, I would
are
say,
in those
yeah,
movies.
that is true for all of
Yeah.
those things. They are included in this
And that's the thing. It's got all of these flaws, but we don't care because it's not boring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is fun and exciting.
And I've gone on this rant multiple times on Banter and Such, but I'll just say it again for this franchise is I love this franchise because I get to turn my brain off
Yeah.
yes.
for 2.5 hours.
We need that sometimes.
Absolutely.
and just not worry about anything besides can this car fly in space?
And you know what?
and having
can.
Tyrese going, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Honestly,
And
Tyrese,
Tootsie Rolls
you've done this
are
8
fat
times
free.
now.
Tootsie Rolls are fat free.
literally when
Oh my
I
God.
just I love that some of the characters are starting to figure it out and they're just like, what the fuck are we doing? We race cars. I don't know what's happening. And like Ludacris
It's just
yeah.
become so self-aware.
Ludacris is amazing, by the way. Not only is he, a fantastic musician, he is so good in these movies because he's just like, again, plays it 100% straight. And he's just always like, yeah, the Pentagon? Yeah, okay, let me try. I'm in. It's just like he just tap, 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 in.
He's the artificer of the group.
Yeah, it's
And
amazing.
again, he started out as the guy who was waving the flag when they went to do their street race.
Do you
in the
remember-
beginning? That's
but
how
do-
he was introduced.
Do you remember?
Go ahead.
I mean, this I guess could be a trivia question. It's not one of the ones I brought, but do you guys remember what the huge racing contest is in the third movie / a lot of the movies? It's like one of the biggest things that happens in this world that they live in.
Oh yeah, they wanted to be DK. They were racing over who gets to be DK. And remember, the main character's like Donkey Kong. Is that what that means?
Yeah, I'm
It's
lost
like,
here.
No, the Drift King. You just get to be
No,
the
that's
bragging
not,
rights
That's
to be
in
called
Tokyo
the
Drift,
King.
which is great. Honestly, that's a deep cut. The main race competition is called Race Wars.
Oh yes!
Wait.
That's right.
We here at the Helios Network do not promote any race wars at all.
It's so good.
Except if they involve cars.
Fast and Furious.
If they involve cars. That I love how that's an early 2000s thing. They're like, what are we going to call this? The Race Wars, of course. And now we're like, we have real race wars. You can't say that shit.
Yeah, there's nothing controversial about race wars. They're racing and it's a war.
That was that beautiful period in history where people were like, there's no such thing as race wars. That doesn't bring anything to mind. We'll call it that.
And honestly,
The worst thing we had to deal with in 2001 was, can we TiVo this or not?
Yeah. And we can make fun of the franchise.
race war.
It deserves it. It's a blast. It's so much fun. It's stupid as hell. It's also one of the most diverse movie franchises that are in the most profitable, like, top 10 area. Like, everyone is basically a person of color except some of the villains. And it's just like, and Paul Walker, I guess, but, you know, he's gone now. But it's...
Well, that's the thing. I mean, in today's climate of movies, if you take a movie franchise that gets like mega huge, then a lot of times, you know, there's the whole controversy of race bending and stuff where it's like, we're going to take this character, make him a different ethnicity and stuff because we want it to be diverse and like we're trying to do a good thing, but you know, you start to piss people off. Whereas like you said, like this franchise doesn't have to do that. Like from the get-go, like there's all kinds of people from all kinds of background who are heroes and villains in these stories. And like they totally skipped that controversy.
This is what, if Brando lived in the Avatar world, that's what he would be, a race bender.
not at all, actually. Is this a callback?
Yes, it is.
This is a callback to our episode of Tabletop that none of our listeners have heard yet because it doesn't come out until a few weeks.
Well, they'll understand it when they listen to our episode.
Well, here's
of
the thing. I mean,
Rule
Owen is
bender.
right, Brandon.
Rule
The
bender.
third most popular thing to do on a podcast is reference another podcast that hasn't come out yet.
This is why we're
How
so
well?
huge.
I'm trying to drive viewership to our episode of Tabletop.
get it.
Okay,
I
All right.
appreciate it.
Let me do my thing here. Which is a great segue into a moment of what I want to do next here, because we're going to get into trivia here momentarily.
Hell yeah.
But Nick, you're a huge D&D guy.
I am.
You've talked about how Fast and the Furious feels like a D&D adventure campaign already. So I'm going to give you one of the characters.
Okay.
And we're going to go down the line here, and I want you to give me the class that you think this character is.
So good. Okay. Yeah.
All right, in D&D.
Yeah.
All right, Dominic Toretto.
Paladin, obviously. He has to have divine protection of some kind.
All right, that's fair. All right, Letty, Michelle Rodriguez.
Michelle Rodriguez is definitely an expert class. I think probably a rogue, yeah.
Yeah,
all right, I
that's
like
what I was
that.
thinking.
Tyrese Gibson, a.k.a. Roman.
Tyrese is definitely a bard. He's the face.
Yes! Yes! All right. Tej, Ludacris.
Ludacris is, like you already said it, he's the artificer. I mean, he's
100%.
definitely the tech guy, yeah.
Nice.
All right.
nice.
What is it? Dwayne The Rock Johnson's character. I can't find him on this right now.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson. See, this is the thing, is that even his car is not like a fast car. It's not a skillful one. It's just like a huge Humvee. I feel like he has to be either like a warrior or a barbarian, leaning towards barbarian,
Yeah.
honestly. There's a scene where a rocket hits him, essentially, and he is exploded out of a window, which he goes through the glass and then lands on a car, and he's like, I think my arm's broken.
Okay. That's all. He was raging and took half damage.
Absolutely.
That's what
Yeah.
it is. He's a
All right.
barbarian for sure. Yeah.
And last but certainly not least, because it's everybody's fucking favorite character, Han.
Han. Oh God. I see. This is tough. I feel as though Han would also be a rogue, but definitely like the assassin class. Like really, like, I mean, he is like that sort of class when he fights in there. But I feel like since I've already used rogue for Letty, I gotta do something else. So let me just run through my Rolodex. Maybe like I'm changing Dominic's, you know, and I think Han might be a paladin because he sort of has that sort of you know thing going on, like the kind of goes by a code. Dominic might be a warlock because he has some like Pact of the Car warlock.
Pact of the car.
Pact of the Race Wars.
Yeah, and honestly, in Fast 5, The Rock is like, do not let them get in a car. This is when they become the most powerful beings in existence.
Oh my god,
That's his
love
temple right there.
it. I guess we should ask the question at least. Paul Walker.
What
Walker. What class
I think
was
that
he?
he's kind of boring. I think that he's the warrior. He's just like kind of base level. There's nothing fancy on him. He does his job.
Yeah.
You know, he's not super charismatic or anything. I think, yeah, he's the warrior.
All right.
Nice.
I like that list. I actually 100% agree.
I agree as well. Like that is, I was at first going to say Paul Walker's the paladin because he works with the law and all that stuff. But no, you're right. He's totally vanilla.
Oh, he's so vanilla.
Except for that scene in Fast 7, the ending of Fast 7, when every man in the world cried when where they're driving
And that
Paul Walker drives
beautiful
off.
song comes on where it's like, we'll see each other again.
Sung by Vin Diesel.
Yeah. But it was an actual touching, and especially because you know what really happened to him, and you know they were friends. They had become friends in real life and stuff.
Vin Diesel walked Paul Walker's
I actually
daughter
feel
down the
something.
aisle.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean that's a crazy thing that happened. Is like one of the main stars of this franchise died tragically, and it's like, dude, that's wild. And like they were actually all friends, and the whole joke about family, it's like they were probably really doing that barbecue stuff in real life, you know,
and
like,
saying grace and everything.
yeah,
they definitely
right
were
after their street races, you know, and so or race wars in Los Angeles.
Oh my god, I hate everything so much right now. But it's time for some trivia.
It's trivia time.
So we're in trivia now, and obviously, because I just said that, sorry, I'm thinking while Brando grabs the wheel of shit.
So we're stalling now.
Yeah, we're stalling. This is me stalling and not knowing what to talk about because So last week, Brando, it was a close one last week. We did the Blade franchise.
Yes.
So
You
good.
got 2 points. I got 3 points. So Brando, you're gonna have to spin that wheel for us
Are
this
you ready?
week. Yeah,
Here we
go for it.
Oh, it's a little wobbly. What are we landing on?
Hot sauce! Dude, we land on hot sauce so much.
Yeah, shot of hot sauce.
Shot of hot sauce. So, Brando, why don't you talk to our guest here, Nick, for a moment on some fun stuff while I prepare some hot sauce for you.
We're just gonna pause and we'll
your
cut it
butthole
back
gonna
in
be
later.
okay?
All right, that works. I'll be right back.
We're gonna do a shot of hot sauce. You know this habanero thing, and it's genuinely hot.
Yeah.
Like it, I'm definitely motivated to try to win.
I
our
once,
trivia.
so there was this wing place in my childhood home in Maine called Binga's Wingas, and it had a hot sauce that was named after when the restaurant burned down. It was called the '08 fire, and it was so hot that they would serve it on a toothpick, and it was black. It was just a black hot sauce that they came out with this big
tar.
pot of, and you would dip your toothpick in, and you would put it on your tongue. And then you would get just punched in the throat by this hot sauce. And there was even a thing that was if you ate a full 12 wings with this hot sauce on it, you would get a meal for free essentially. And we all my
also
friends and I
stomach
were
cancer.
talking about it, and we're like, yeah, let's try it. And the waitress was like, guys, don't do it. If I would tell you that 90% of the people who try this test end up shitting themselves in the parking lot, I would not be lying.
So, Brando.
All right, here we go. We have a shot glass. Is this a double?
No,
Is
it's just a normal shot.
All right.
This looks like a double. Maybe we should reduce it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. All right.
Yeah, suck that down.
Oh God, that was bright red. Oh,
Yeah, it's my homemade habanero hot sauce.
so how long have you guys hated
Once
each
again,
other?
It was so thick.
About 3.5 years.
Amazing.
It's so thick and creamy. All right, so
Thick sauce.
I got the hiccups.
let's have a you want to have a nice long theological talk about Vin Diesel right now, just to have Brando mouth hurt even more. No, I'm kidding. Nick, go ahead and give us your first trivia question.
All right, guys, it's trivia time. I know that you guys have been studying this franchise, so I pulled some that are not too hard, but are pretty. You got to know your stuff. Let's start with an easy one. An easy one to start with. What is the Fast and the Furious franchise based on? It's based on a real thing.
Based on a real thing.
Is
Oh,
it,
man.
Is it the real world race wars?
It's based on a real thing?
Yeah, it's based on
something
something that came from the real world.
Okay.
Can we get a little bit more of a hint?
All right. Yes, it is.
I think I know the answer.
I will give you that it is a magazine article, but can you give me the name of the article?
Oh, I was going to be completely wrong.
Oh, wow, that hint.
Oh, God, the sauce is hitting.
I know it's not called The Fast and the Furious because that was the name of a movie from the 50s, and they bought that name from them, and it had nothing to do with this.
Okay.
They just had that name. It's a magazine article.
Yes,
All right,
it was an
3,
article in Vibe
2.
magazine.
Oh, gosh. I have no idea. Brando, 3, 2, 1.
Family races.
You know?
I'm going to say it is race baiting.
Oh, man, you guys
The
are so
ultimate
close.
race war.
No, it was an article in Vibe magazine called Racer X that Paramount or whatever studio has Fast and the Furious actually like optioned to create this franchise off of. So it's like a real
Wow,
apparently
okay.
that's why the first ones are so like the actual racing scene in like LA or whatever was because it was based off like a real racing scene or something. All right, here we go.
I'm actually really nervous about this now. If that was an easy one.
I will destroy you. All right, here we go. This one's a lot easier. What is a 10-second car?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
What is a
10-second car. Yeah.
What does what did you mean? Okay.
That's a term that they use in that movie quite often. What does it mean? I know. I do know what this means.
Yeah. Well, since you know what it is, I'll go first. It's drag racing. It's just like street racing.
Yeah, but what does it mean in the street racing world? If you own a 10-second car, what does that mean?
It means the NOS only lasts 10 seconds.
No, it means it can do a quarter of a mile in 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Quarter of a mile in 10 seconds?
Yeah, absolutely. It is.
Yeah, woo!
It is like
right.
basically the least legal road legal car you can have.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
He lives his life a quarter mile at a time.
I know, a quarter mile.
All right, this is another great one. What is Han's his full name in the franchise? Canonically, what is Han's full name?
Okay.
I think I know it.
All
Actually.
right. Since I'm going to take a guess here, it is Han Honerson, Constantinople.
I think it is Han Solo.
Yes, it is Han Solo.
What? No, it's not.
You thought I was joking.
I was going to say that as a joke, and I changed it last second to something stupid.
Yeah, it's like so low.
It's not like everybody's going to know it's...
Yeah.
Owen's going to go for the Star Wars joke. I'm trying to...
And it was right.
Dumb.
And it was right.
This is dumb.
You're sucking down this hot sauce next time.
All right.
All right, scores 1-1. You're fucking me. Are you guys seriously
Yeah.
really is Han Solo?
And
I am
it's
dead
written
serious,
like
yeah.
the city in Korea, Seoul-lo.
Yeah. Oh, he's looking
Oh,
at
I'm Googling this.
He's like,
he's
these
looking at
motherfuckers trying to get me to drink hot sauce. All right, here we go. We got.
Oh my dear God, it is.
Yeah, told you.
I'm not gonna. I wouldn't do you like that. That's the real canonical name.
Han Solo, baby.
Does it make you fall?
I hate-
Does it make you fall in love with the series even deeper?
No, it makes me hate it more. Move on to the next question. I'm done
You know,
with it.
Brian's last
No,
name was
stop.
Brian Skywalker, right?
Oh God.
All right, here we go. How much did Vin Diesel
Bri
turn
beans.
down to not do Fast and the Furious 2?
I know this amount as well.
Ooh, okay. How much did he turn down? I don't know this one off the top of my head, so I'm gonna guess
I
here.
think I know it, yeah.
I'm gonna guess $11 million.
Okay.
$20 million.
We're gonna go Price is Right rules. Brandon, you win. It was $25 million.
Whoa,
25.
Yeah,
Jeez,
isn't that nuts?
At the time,
And
holy
he just gave that
shit.
up.
That's how much he
literally
turned
was
down.
like, I don't like the script.
No, what he's saying is he doesn't like $25 million.
Yeah.
I was like, I
if I don't like the script either, I'll take it.
Yeah, $25 million. What do you want me to do?
Yeah, but the script for Fast 9 was so good.
Oh, it's
that
so
you
much
took
better
that
than
one.
Too Fast, Too Furious.
And in Fast and the Furious 3 Tokyo Drift, the kind of, ugly stepchild of the franchise, when his little like cameo at the end, in order to get him to do that and kind of bring him back into the franchise, they had to give him the rights to the Chronicles of Riddick. He wouldn't do it
and I
otherwise.
knew that.
Yeah. Crazy,
Yeah,
right?
because and honestly, I love that film franchise.
He was convinced that was going to be the next Star Wars.
Yeah.
And
I mean, it's not, but I do love
It's
that.
great.
They are fun.
I mean,
Like,
the
the
video
first
game,
one
Escape
is
from
pitch
Butcher's
black,
Bay,
and
it was good.
It's a great one. Yeah.
Yeah, they're fun. I wish they added me more, actually.
I feel like we need a Chronicles of Riddick sequel at this point. Like, why not? He's making a ton of money. He can finance it himself.
Wasn't the last one I think was 2017, 2018 was the last one?
No, that's got to be way farther back.
No,
than
John
that.
Batista was in it.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, what?
Yeah, Batista and Vin Diesel. Yeah.
What was it called? They made one with John Batista in it?
Again, so stupid of him. I think that Vin Diesel thinks that he's like a foot taller and 100 pounds heavier than he is.
He keeps casting these guys bigger than him. It's like, Vin, you're supposed to be the big guy. That's your thing. Crazy.
All right,
crazy.
I got it.
Chronicles of Riddick.
I also got one more
I'm trying to
question
find
for
out when
you
the last
after
one
this.
came out. All right, what go ahead and hit us with it.
All
All right. How long, and you've already sort of touched on this a little bit, and we're going to do Price is Right rules again. How long would the runway have to have been in Fast 6 for them to be able to drive for as long as they did?
Oh man,
I think I know this one too.
So you said it was 28 miles on air.
That's not what I said.
Okay.
That is what I said, but that's not. Yeah.
I'm going to guess. Okay. So are you going with 28?
Well, I think it's like 27 and a half is what I
Okay.
think it is. It's something like that.
I am going to go 33 miles.
Okay.
I'm going to go a little higher than you because it's
$1.
It's a long sequence. That sequence is like 15, 20 minutes long.
And Brandon, you
All right,
going 28?
How long?
Oh, 27 and a half.
27 and a
is
half?
what I think it is.
Okay.
Okay.
The runway, and just for context, the longest paved runway in the real world is 3.4 miles. The runway in this movie was 28.86 miles long.
Oh my god. Who was closer to that? I don't know
It's
which-
you.
Was it me?
It's you.
Where are we
Because I
at?
also went
Who-
over for
who
doing
won?
Price of Rights. Yeah. Well, and it's a definitive winner, and I don't like this because the actors sided with one another, which is another callback to Tabletop. Brando beat me 3-1.
All right. What's our overall score? Where am I catching
We are
up?
now tied 30-30 for this season, Brando.
What? We're
Yep.
tied for
We are
this
tied.
season.
We're tied so far for this season.
Wow. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Nick, you've been awesome, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me
You
on,
are
guys.
so witty and so funny.
Yeah.
You've kept up with us. We did an episode of your show Tabletop too. So where can people find you and tell us a little bit about Tabletop?
Yeah, so Tabletop is just like a little pet project that I really, really love. It's an interview show where we talk to basically everyone and anyone that has an interest in storytelling and TTRPGs. So we had like Mike Sands, the creator of Monster of the Week, on to talk about that system and really talk about how he develops games. We've had Dr. Moya McTeer on, the podcast host of Exolore, an astrophysicist, to talk about how she builds worlds from a place of science. We had another doctor, Dr. Emily Zarka, on to talk about monster lore. We had you two idiots on. No, just kidding.
Yeah, thank you for saying it that
I
way.
was just about to say, I was like, and you had us on.
Multiple doctors, PhD candidates, professors,
And Owen and Brando.
yeah, and us. Look at us.
Yeah.
Look at us contending with the smartest people in the world.
Nick, what the fuck are you doing, man?
It was awesome. You guys had a
Put us
lot
on
of
your
cool
show.
stuff to say, but we also have a normal panel of just like D&D and TTRPG kind of experts that we have on quite a bit. Me and my friends that have been DMing and running games for combined like 100 years. So we have a lot of things to say. It doesn't take itself too seriously. It's a lot of fun. It's Tabletopped. on any podcast platform. And you can go to our website at tabletoppedpod.com if you want to get in touch with us or check out episodes, join our Discord, all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
Hell yeah. And everyone, remember to check out our Instagram and Patreon website. All the links will be in the show description, including a link to Tabletopped.
And we're proud members of the Helios Network, a collection of great podcasts made by regular people.
Check us out at www.theheliosnetwork.com to see some of our other amazing podcasts like Master and the Debaters.
Oh,
it's so good.
Yes, it is.
They're pre-recording all their episodes. They're about to start launching.
We've gotten the taste before it's out. It's not out for public consumption yet.
Not yet.
But I've been in one episode.
Yes, you have.
And I've heard some of the others, and they are so funny.
It is three best friends, Puck, Alex, and Spence, who have all been guests on Banter and Such. And it's the three of them debating the stupidest topics the hardest way they can, because the slogan literally is soft topics, hard opinions.
Well, thanks so much for listening to this week's episode of Banter and Such.
Next week, wait. Are we serious? Next week is Black Panther, Wakanda Forever.
Yes, it's out, baby.
Oh my gosh. We need to go see this. I can't wait.
All right, well, I'm Brando.
And I'm Owen.
And until next time, may your week be filled with BS.
We just hit record ourselves, and then we could do. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1. We clapped on after one. On one.
After one?
No.
That sounded more natural.
Okay, after one. 3, 2, then clap, okay?
No, 3, 2, 1, clap.
Clap, yes. All right, 3, 2, 1.
I love that.
Sure. Yeah, we'll get
that
it over.
happens perfectly.
It did not, at any way, shape, or form. And I love the fact that we're recording now, because I'm going to put this in the in the show afterwards.
A cold close. I love it.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. Oh, exactly. Thank you for knowing the terminology. I love that.
All right, Nick, you recording?
I am.
All right. We good on?
Yeah, sorry. Puck just sent me a weird video. I'll look at it later.
All right. Damn it, my wife just texted me. Sorry.